I'm always skeptical of
It
marketing.
was really a selling point when you went to the bar. Like, oh, we have this, we have bourbon.
We have bourbon.
Or we have these nice toasted barrels.
Toasted bourbons that have been there.
Which would you like?
Oh, my God.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 199 of The Mashup, the shortest bourbon conversation you can hear all week long. We're your hosts, Stephen, Anthony, and Kenny. What's going on?
What up? Good evening.
What are you doing?
Waiting to pour.
Well, I have to say something right off the bat, Stephen. You said the shortest bourbon conversation you hear all week long, but this is actually a full-length episode.
That's right.
I didn't sign up for this.
You're in a circular squad. We're coming after you. It's a freaking spiring squad.
Damn it.
There you go.
Did you know this, Kenny?
Can you say the word best real quick so we can edit it in? Say it. Let me hear you say it. Say best. Say best.
I can't. Giggles Factory is going.
Say best.
Best.
Hooray!
Now say it with an R.
Bester.
We're not doing anything with that. We're leaving that right there. No. So what are you guys doing, man? Happy time to hang out again.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, Kenny's like, I'm ready for bed.
Keeping the man up.
He looks like he's a little bit tired, but you know what? We won't let that keep us from having a great episode.
I'm 7/8.
7/8 Satch.
There we go, baby.
So I had a really fun experience that I have to tell you guys about recently. So I got to go. So remember a couple episodes
Did you go to the
back,
candy shop?
The candy shop.
Did you lick all the lollipops?
You got 50 Cent over there. Come on, man. No Diddy. Anyway, that's it's funny. That's become so mainstream now that I hear kids saying no Diddy. I'm like, what is going on here? I mean, it's crazy how far he's fallen from grace.
Crazy.
But I actually had the opportunity to join Ryan Lentz from River Roots and Cam from Drums and Drams to get over to Bluegrass Distillers to taste some whiskey. And it was actually a really fun experience. And the coolest part was not only to get there and taste some barrels, but also to mix it up with, it was funny. They're like, Ryan's like, here's my friend Bo. And I'm like, hey, Bo, how are you doing? And he's like, good, man. And I'm sitting there, cutting up with him and talking and stuff like that. And I'm just like, so what, what's your connection to Ryan? He's like, well, like I used to run the, Barrel Select from Sazerac. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I created all that. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So, me, Mr. Naive over there. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you got the single barrel program from Buffalo Trace. And so I got to sit and chat and sip with those guys for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Unfortunately, I had to go back to work in the afternoon. I would have loved to stay there all day, but it was a lot of fun. Got to do that. And it was a really great time.
Yeah, that was on a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
And I was hoping it was on a Wednesday, like originally, because I could have gone.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to go on that. So y'all were trying some 15 and 16-year-old, some of the hybrid Buffalo Trace Wild Turkey type barrels, right?
Yes. And I don't, I don't really want to get into the whole back and forth of what those things are.
But the only thing I want to get into on that, right? I don't get to all that.
Right.
But I will say I tried a bunch of those single barrels.
Right.
And for the money, I wasn't a fan.
Okay.
Some of our listeners might have even seen the post I put out. But it's pretty incredible that Bo was blending a few of those.
He was on the spot.
And you tried some of those.
Uh-huh.
Ryan Lynch talked about that. It's like, holy crap, you kind of had an epiphany.
Right.
It's kind of like some of those different barrels were good components to make a blend with.
Right.
So I am very excited to try a blend of that 15-year stuff.
Right.
Because personally, the single barrels I tried just weren't there for the money. For that, what are they, $350?
I think so, yeah.
So for that.
For a bottle, yeah.
But the blends, based on what you said, I'm excited to try some of the blends and see where that falls at.
And Stephen, the ultimate egg on the face moment is I'm standing in this warehouse and I don't know any of these people extremely well. I know Cam and Ryan the best because we had them on the podcast. And the person who's I guess he's a co-owner of the group that has the barrels of bluegrass, right? Kobe. He is like, we're talking about a lot of things, and he's like, I like the way you guys are, tasting, talking about things, blah, blah. He's like, we had this guy in here last week who said he didn't like anything. He's like, and he was just kind of like, whatever. And I'm like, bald head guy? And he's like, yeah. I'm like,
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, no.
That's me, baby.
I was like, that's the guy from the podcast.
I told him, man.
I'm like,
So-
he's like kind of our co-host.
We tried 5 barrels.
Right.
And
Right.
I was just blunt about it because it's not like it's a $99 bottle,
Right.
$150 bottle. So I just wasn't as polite as them. So I said, these are not good. Anything else?
Right.
They brought out 3 more or 4 more barrels. They crushed the first 5 that we tried.
Okay.
So I believe Paddock and Banners will have a pick coming out that actually is very good.
Okay.
But those first 4 or 5 they had for, I think it was 5.
Right.
So I don't know if that was like the ones that were picked through or like other groups passed on.
Right.
But they weren't that great. But the next ones they rolled out were actually pretty good. But based on what you said and then how you and Ron have been messaging back and forth, dude, I'm excited to try a blend of that.
Right.
Because, here's the thing. We have talked about it.
Right.
In general, the very best single barrel stuff each year, just year in, year out, is King Kentucky.
Oh, absolutely.
Besides King Kentucky, what is a single barrel that's premium? Not much.
Right.
It is batches and blends.
Uh-huh.
Parker's, William Heaven Hill, George C. Stagg, William Lure Weller.
Right.
Just keep going down the list. It is not single barrels. It is blends.
Right. And those aren't small batches that we're talking about.
Yes,
we're talking
no.
about thousands
But
of
I
barrels.
Massive.
am so excited for another week or two when we're going to be up in Cleveland
Right.
at River Roots.
Right.
I'm excited for that, man.
And that's what we're hoping for. So I get to shepherd Kenny and Steven. Have either of you guys been to Cleveland?
One time when I was younger to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Really?
but that was a long time ago.
All right. So that was a long time ago that you were there. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is not the most exciting thing in Cleveland. I just want to tell you guys that. Kenny, have you ever been to the land, sir?
No, man.
You've never been to Cleveland?
Like, why would I go there?
Burn.
Oh, dude.
They don't even know who they are.
What do you
The
mean?
Indians are the Guardians.
Oh, come on.
I mean, they don't know who they are.
Hey, I get
So why
that.
would I go there?
But you really have never been there?
Not and stop through. I've probably driven through there, maybe.
Okay.
Like, well, let me ask you this: would I have driven through there going to Michigan?
I don't think so. Unless I don't think you guys would have
No,
driven
probably
straight
not.
up.
No, then I've never.
You probably would have been like close.
Then I've never
like,
been there.
When I say close by, no, you're
Nope.
probably gonna hit the interstate and
Nope,
go up that
never
way.
been there.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Bro.
I'm excited, and we're hoping. we
I
don't know
work.
yet. We don't what to go.
I work.
Yeah.
I sip bourbon. I stay in the 40514 zip code. That's it.
No,
You know
no.
me.
I have one more thing.
I mean, it's just
here we
simple
go.
as that.
One more thing.
You played Diablo.
And I played
Yeah,
it.
play Diablo.
So, but I'm excited to go.
You know, Kenny, I have a shirt that is the most interesting man in the world. You remember the most interesting man in the world? Stay thirsty, my friends.
Yep.
I have a shirt, and I have grown out of that shirt. But because Kenny's stature, I think you'd fit that perfectly. I'm going to give you that shirt because
Medium.
I think it's medium.
I need a large dog.
No, it's
Okay.
it's a small XL.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're
All
gonna be
right.
fine in it.
Sweet.
But you're getting that shirt now because you are the most interesting man in the world.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
A man that lives
I joined the new gym.
a mere 4.5. I want to hear about your gym, but you live a mere 4.5 hours from a great city,
Yeah.
and you have never been there.
Never been there.
And now the only thing that's taking you to said city is whiskey.
Ryan, Ryan Lentz, man. It's good dude.
Yeah, I know. River Roots is doing some great stuff, and I would love for that. We're hoping that's going to be our first mashup pick, and I'm
As long as it's great, it will be, and we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to say good, bad, set us
Right.
up for failure, but what Cam brought down
right.
and Ryan brought down
All great stuff.
was very good. And then, so yeah, I'm excited to go, man.
Right.
I'm ready to. I'm hopefully find something that we love, that we fall in love with.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. 100%.
So there's definitely some really good picks coming out there. Since it's going to be our quote unquote first pick, it's kind of got to be like really, really good to be, to
First.
fall into that.
Right.
So we'll see.
We're also going to go eat at Bo Long Chinese food late night, and in this area that I wouldn't want to go to all the time, but they got some killer Chinese food. My
Kenny,
wife lives.
he's trying to
My
kill
wife
us.
lived in downtown Cleveland for
Hey,
years.
man, you know, I'll be
I'm
packing
gonna take you guys.
I'll be packing 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, we're safe.
I ain't worried
we're,
about it.
We're going down to East 99th Street where Bone Thugs is from. Yeah,
Hey,
we're gonna
man.
hang out. No, I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
yeah.
We're not going down there. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll talk about it in a future episode. But much love to our folks over there at River Roots. I'm really, ever since they were on a podcast, man, I'm like 100% behind them because I just love the fact that they're doing quality things up in Cleveland where there is a lot
I
of
agree, man.
distilleries that aren't really doing quality things. So
No, I agree, man. And we talked about it. You know, if you have an NDP,
yeah.
so not a Heaven Hill, a Four Roses, a Turkey, a Buffalo Trace, the legacy brands. You just got to decide, who you want to throw your money into.
Right.
And like, I love Amin at Old Louisville.
Right.
Love Macaulay at Dark Arts. It's one of those things. You just got to decide who you want to put your money behind when you're buying an NDP.
Right. 100%.
And so far from what I've tasted, and then also just meeting the guy, River Roots is definitely on my radar.
That's where it's at.
All right, we have another review we need to go over tonight.
Yes. So this is actually great because this review was left for us by some guy on a couch somewhere via Apple Podcasts.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy on
Nice.
9/25/24. So we're still catching up. And the title of this review, it's a 5-star review, was Ditto. And so if you remember last Friday, we read the whole entire review from Mr. Ryan Alves. And this guy's title was Ditto. And he said basically what the last guy said. But wait a minute. This gets great. He says, but up here in Canada, the internet is slow. And he beat me to it. Love the show. Unfortunately, our bourbon selection is severely lacking and our Canadian whiskey is cat pee in comparison. Almost everything is 80 proof, boring, and this is from a guy who literally lives 6 miles from where Crown Royal is made. Keep up the great work, guys. How about that?
If that was Kenny,
the mighty
we'll have
North.
the blackberry of all the blackberry cases.
Right. Has this listener heard us talk about Crown Blackberry and what a gem it is? I mean, how about that, though, from the north? Loving that. 6 miles from Crown, and he's loving what we're doing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is.
There's got to be some good stuff up there, though. I'm trying to think
Maybe some forgotten about whiskeys, rye whiskeys that are aging in the snow.
There's some 30 and 40-year-old rye whiskeys we get down here that
Right.
I don't know.
Man, you never know, and it's interesting, and like every time.
Who's that from? What's his name?
This is from some guy on a couch somewhere.
All right, so some guy on a couch.
Here we go. Get your words of wisdom from Kenny.
Some guy on a couch. You need to join some of the Facebook groups that do/don't exist, and get some legal/illegal bourbon shipped to you, so that way you can have some good stuff.
There you go.
But I am not the one to do that to you. I'm not the one to ship up there.
Yes, never. Nothing from
So-
come from this podcast. So,
But there's some,
You were just reading on Reddit, right?
there's some groups that exist that I believe you can acquire some bottles
there you go.
of good stuff.
Right. I'll be coming through the Canadian border there in about 3 weeks. I'm just joking.
Hey, no, you're not.
No, I'm not.
You're a vacation guy. You're all over the place.
There you go. I might be up there.
Not to Canada.
You
We're
might.
coming up to see you in Canada. That's too cold
Yeah.
for Canada.
You're going to visit Big Ben. Is that in Canada?
No.
No.
Where's Big Ben? Where's Big Ben? Besides on National Lampoon's.
That's out there in
that in Europe?
Marigold, England. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People
All
are
right.
probably up.
that
John.
was the European vacation.
John
Lampoon's
Walmsley's so
European.
mad right now.
All right.
He's
I knew
gonna-
it was something far away from me.
He's gonna have words to say to you.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere from far away from me.
Well, anyway, if you'd like a shout out, just leave your review on Spotify or Apple, and next time we record, we'll give you a shout out.
Boom.
Well, boys, for this week, we have a quite rare bottle. I have not seen it on the shelves too often.
Ooh.
That's just me.
Okay.
We have a bottle of Bombergers.
Bombergers, yes. So this is the Bombergers Declaration Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And this comes to us from the Michter's Distillery. The bottle date is 2024. And this is a bit of a mysterious whiskey because it doesn't have your traditional mash bill. The here we go. I got it right here. The ABV is 54%. The proof is 108. So the thing about this is we don't have, in true Michter's fashion, it's a Michter's product. we don't have a mash bill or anything else. What we have is a description. So it says the 2024 release of Bombergers Declaration Whiskey continues the flavorful tradition of using bourbon-aged chinquapin oak. The chinquapin oak was naturally air-dried and seasoned for 3 years before being toasted and charred to our exact specifications. This year's release also includes bourbon with malted rye in the recipe. The marrying of these bourbons results in a bold and vibrant whiskey with many layers of rich complexity. And the MSRP on this distillery is $120.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more. We also have the Shenk's Homestead Sour Mash Whiskey. This is also coming to us from the Michter's Distillery out there in, they're in Louisville, right? Louisville, Kentucky. The bottle date is 2024. The ABV on this one is 45.6. The proof is 91.2. And the MSRP on this is $120 as well. But the 2024 release of Shenk's Homestead Sour Mash is an expression made with a substantial amount of rye. The offering uses whiskey that has aged in French oak sourced from the Vosges region of France, before being naturally air-dried and seasoned for 24 months and being toasted to our specifications. This release also includes whiskeys with unique grains and their recipes, including malted rye and caramel malt, which offers a nice creaminess to complement the rye-forward herbaceous and spice qualities. So, gentlemen, we have basically what amounts to the
OGs.
The OG Legacy series from Michter's, the Shanks and Bombergers, which have been released for quite a few consecutive years now, but this is a 2024 versions of them, both at $120 a clip, both pretty limited. There you go. What do you guys think of the bottles?
Well, they're just beautiful wine bottles.
They are. They're a different kind of wine bottle. They're not like a BTAC wine bottle. They're a very traditional, like Pinot Noir, or not a Pinot Noir, sorry, just like a Chardonnay bottle. And they got pretty interesting, almost, they're trying to look old school labels on them. One with the family crest and the Shanks, and the Bombergers are just kind of plain. But again, if you want to get into the history of it, these are the originators of the Michter's, what we currently know as Michter's, right? It goes all the way back to the 1700s. So what do you think?
I mean, they've definitely differentiated these bottles from traditional Michter's bottles.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to get it confused with the other Michter stuff.
I think it's really neat how Michter's is keeping the OG going.
Right.
And then not just like bottling it every year, but every year is a different expression of it.
Right.
And so that makes it, I guess quite a collectible item then. I guess it's kind of smart on their end.
Right. And it's smart on their end, but then think about this. This really celebrates kind of what like we've come to expect from one of our sponsors, right? The Woolwork Collective. He does all kind of stuff with air aging of staves and toasting and stuff like that. So this is kind of like Michter's, what I would call their almost experimentation, but it sounds like they're very deliberate with what they're doing. If they're air drying staves for 3 years and toasting them to specifications before they age the stuff in there, it seems like they're thinking about this quite a bit.
Now, you said experimenting. Has any of this leaped into Michter's normal bottles? Any of these sort of like methods they use for these bottles, have they kind of mainstream into Michter's?
I wouldn't imagine they probably have to be.
Because I know they have a lot of sub versions of Michter's, the unbleached or whatever they are.
Right. And that's the thing. They have their mainline toasted series. Mm-hmm. And I often wondered, like, their toasted rye, toasted bourbon, toasted sour mash. And the fact that, we're not even really sure what they're distilling, what they're not, what they're sourcing. It's all just kind of mysterious with Michter's. And so, yeah, I mean, it might bleed over to that.
I am definitely curious on this. I got the Bombergers and Shanks back in 2020.
Okay.
When I first started sipping bourbon.
Here we go.
And after I opened them, I was like, why are these so expensive?
Okay.
I did not enjoy them for what they cost. So I have not bought them since 2020.
Okay.
But what I am curious about is, so last year at Heaven Hill.
Okay.
Maybe in the year before. I need to look and see. They had the Heaven Hill Select Stock 13-year bourbon.
Okay.
Finished for 2 years in 36-month air-dried chinquapin barrels.
Oh, there you go.
So Heaven Hill was using the chinquapin barrels either last year or the year before for some Heaven Hill Select stock.
Okay.
So I'm very curious to try this and compare it to what Heaven Hill did.
Okay.
Now you said you didn't enjoy these back in 2020. Is that because that was your?
They taste like a $50 bourbon, even though they
Okay,
were.
I didn't
even
know
though
if
I
it
paid
was
$120 for them.
I know
Well,
that's when
wait
you
a minute.
started.
Yeah, go
I didn't know
ahead.
that was when you started. I didn't know if you didn't enjoy it because of just your palate at that point.
No,
or
because
just because it was like 120.
because they were so expensive.
Okay.
Right. So it's like back then the old Forester 1910 was $42.
Right.
So I'm like, why am I paying $100 bucks, $110 for these? When there's other $40 bourbons out there that are better.
Well, I would have to trace the year, but my guess is it's probably 2018 or 2019. I'm guessing maybe 2019. And Kenny, this is going right to what you're saying. There was a time where these bottles were on the shelf. And when I say on the shelf, they were limited release, but they cost less than what they cost now. So the reason I remember this is because I stood outside of my favorite store, Total Wine, one time, in line. Had to be 2018 or 2019. And there was a pretty sizable line. When we got inside and saw the table, a lot of people were grabbing the Shanks, leaving behind things like E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what are these guys doing? Shanks was $47.99. I distinctly remember that because I had no idea what it was. And thank God people were getting it because I grabbed an E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof.
Wise decision, I believe.
Yes. I think it was $80 maybe then. And I was more than happy to have it. But that Shanks, people were going, oh, yeah, I'm grabbing the Shanks because it's good or whatever. And I guess at $47.99, it must have been much better than whatever you tasted in 2020 for $120.
Probably
100
90
maybe?
bucks, 100
90
bucks.
bucks, 90, 100 bucks.
So remember, 2020 was also when COVID, that thing shut down.
Okay.
So what they did was they had the Michter's distillery
Right.
stuff that you could either do a curbside pickup on.
Gotcha.
Or I don't think they delivered back then, but I definitely had several curbside pickups down at Michter's, and I grabbed some of those that way.
Well,
But yeah, I remember once I got it, I'm like, why did I pay $90 or $100 for this?
I feel like they were $50 to $70 bottles once
In
upon a time.
2017, yeah.
Then they went up in price. So I get that. But gosh, we usually bore you with history, but I'll just tell you this: like Shanks guy was a farmer in 1753. Then they renamed the distillery to Bombergers. Then it eventually became Michter's. Then it's here now. So this is just, again, like we said, it's an homage to their history and roots. And a good throwback to back when, they used to be doing dry aging and toasting of staves. You know how they used to do that back in the day, Stephen? Remember that? In the 1700s when they were air drying and toasting staves?
That's what they did all the time.
I still wonder, there's a mismatch. There's a mismatch somewhere. How do you pay homage to your history by doing things that nobody was doing back then? I don't get it. I mean, I'm always skeptical of marketing.
It was really a selling point when you went to the bar. Like, oh, we have this, we have bourbon.
We have bourbon.
Or we have these nice toasted barrels.
Toasted bourbons that have been there.
Which would you like?
Oh, my God. Gosh, I feel like we're a marketing worst nightmare over here saying the things that we say sometimes, but it's okay.
Also, Shanks is SHENKS.
Yeah, what did you think it was?
And if you look at the original Gaelic, it was SHANK, as in a prison shank.
Oh, really?
No, I just made that up. But when I see Shanks, I'm thinking like, thinking of a shank.
You're thinking of being
Yeah,
in a clink?
That's right, baby.
There you go. All right.
Well, should we go for our first no zing?
Yeah, I think so. So I have the Bombergers on the first glass and the Shanks on the other one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a warm nose. Very warm on the Bombergers. Present some age.
So you're saying on the Shanks, they said it's a higher rye content?
That's what they're saying on their website, that it's
And
actually
on the
a more
Bombergers, a higher malt something?
Let me go back to it real quick while you're nosing, because I definitely get the rye on the Shanks. So it says the Shanks is offered is expression made with a substantial amount of rye, which is not always the case. And it's a whiskey that has been aged in French oak from a specific region and naturally air dried and seasoned for 24 months and toasted to specifications. So toasted rye, including malted rye and caramel malt. So creaminess and herbaceous is what they describe on their website
Is that for the shanks?
for the shanks.
Oh, I definitely get the French oak.
Yes, and the rye, I think, presents itself too. And then Bombergers is the air-aged chinquapin, air-dried 3 years before being toasted and charred. So that's what you got going on here, but that's mostly bourbon. Bold and vibrant whiskey with layers of complexity. I get the bold and vibrantness from it for sure. Another thing I want to point out while we're nosing here is that like these things have crazy limited numbers on the labels, but that's per batch. So each batch has 2,000 bottles, so we really have no idea how many bottles are out there, but it's not like if you have one of these at home and you're looking at it going, this is awesome, it's only got 2,000 bottles available nationwide. Nope, there's different batches. So each different batch has its own number of bottles, and I'm not sure how many batches there are.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because I was kind of fooled by that. I was like, man, there's only 2,000 bottles of this Bombergers and only 1,800 of the Shanks, and it's like, nope, those are just batches.
Oh man, when you take the laser codes on those,
Right, there you go. I'm getting like on the Bombergers, I'm getting like almost like a milky register, which is really weird. Like a heavy feeling that's kind of almost got like a dairy note, which is weird. Is that weird? I've lost my mind.
on the Bombergers.
Yeah,
When you said heavy,
Yeah.
you know that feeling when you get sometimes when like your insides just drop, like your shoulders drop,
Yeah.
like it's a heavy feeling.
It's usually when I say something incredibly stupid and I feel bad. And then I'm like, oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. It's like
That's
a heavy-
funny. That's weird that you said that.
What, you getting that?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
From a nosing,
From a nosing, yeah. It's good. The very
not just
heavy.
an internal feeling.
But it's got some
It's so
ethanol.
weird.
It's got some ethanol too. Like I don't know where this is coming from.
It's definitely got the vanilla. I mean,
Vanilla.
it's got the basic stuff up front.
Vanilla oak, but the oak is very very heavy.
I would say it's got a medium ethanol to it, right?
It does, yeah. There's
Like, it's not-
quite a
it's
bit
there.
of ethanol coming out there. For 108 proof, it noses like it's about 115. It's nosing above proof, but I don't know. We're gonna sip it in a second. What about the Shanks?
I just smell death.
Death? Oh God!
Oh, well,
Really?
I'm sorry.
Did you say that?
Wrong shank.
Oh, there you go. The Shanks, to me, I like the nose better on the Shanks than the Bombergers. And the nose on the Shanks is brighter. That rye and French oak is a nice mixture.
You don't have the ethanol burn.
There's ethanol burn on yours?
No, you don't have ethanol burn like you do
ethanol
compared to the
burn,
Bombergers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's a nice.
Well, it is what 91 proof versus
it's a nice
108.
91.2.
91.2. That's like
I mean,
Blanton's is higher proof, but it's got
I know what Macaulay has done with French oak.
right.
So there can be some really good.
I've always
It
liked
takes
French
the
oak.
edge off,
Yeah.
Just kind of like takes the edge off, sweetens it up a little bit,
Mellows things
mellows
out.
it out a little bit on some of the French oak.
Do you guys know which one you're going to taste first? I think everybody should just go out on their own here, and then we should compare notes. What do you think? Go it alone.
Let's go wild.
Go buck wild.
Want to go Bad Burger first?
I said, what did you say, Bomberger?
Bad Burger?
Bad Burger. Bombergers is a weird name. It does make you feel like you're going to be having something that has to do with cheeseburgers.
Well, with that, let's go for our first tasting.
All right. If you guys taste cheeseburgers, it's definitely my fault.
I do taste 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese,
Oh, there you go.
pickles, onions, and a sesame seed bun.
Yeah. That's is that a Big Mac?
Yeah,
Yeah. You know they have a chicken Big Mac now.
really.
Yeah. You want that?
I haven't seen any advertisements for it.
There is.
I've heard
it's a
of
limited
it.
time chicken Big Mac.
So
I
it's the
haven't had
same
it yet.
thing, just chicken?
Yeah, I guess it's like if you took like 2 chicken patties with the lettuce, tomato, what did you
Special
say?
sauce.
No, special sauce.
All
onion.
beef patty,
There-
special
I remember the
sauce,
song.
lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Bun. There you go.
That's right, baby.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Although I worked at Burger King for 6 years, so
There you go. Big Mac.
home of the Whopper.
Home of the Whopper.
I had that new the new Lux combo at Taco Bell. It
How was
fine.
that, sir? Do tell.
I do have to beef with Taco Bell real quick.
Okay, please. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's what this podcast is about. We talk about Taco Bell.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So we ordered through the app, right? And we did it, and my son was doing it, but I wasn't paying attention. I was just telling him what I wanted. And I thought we were going to the one closest to our house. So
Yeah.
I get there, and I'm like, have a mobile order for Steven. We don't have anything. And I looked like, all right, hold on. I was like, oh, crap. It was on the other one, the other town. So I drive over there, and I got it. And on our thing, he put a couple of each sauce.
Yeah.
Just 2 of each, right? I saw
That's
what
it?
was. Yeah. Okay. So I got there, and I knew they had the new Verde sauce.
Okay.
And I was like, can I get a couple of those Verde sauce? And I was like, well, let me ring it up. I was like, I'm going to have to pay for it? And she's like, yes. I was like, never mind. Okay. So he put in 2 of each. So we had like 6 total. I opened the bag, and there's like 15 sauces in there. I'm like, you couldn't have just added 2 more of the other one?
Okay, so Taco Bell's home base is in Louisville. You know that, right?
Yum.
Yum Brands. I have never been to Taco Bell ever where they put anything less than 25 sauces in the bag. And what the heck? They're going to charge you?
Yeah.
That's bootleg. That's total bootleg.
And they were out of Dr. Pepper.
I'm going to send.
I was about to come through.
Once this podcast goes live, I'm sending it to Taco Bell's head of communications.
Thank you.
Saying, we have a bourbon podcast, and listen to what happened to our beloved co-host when he tried to just get himself a nice meal for himself and his son. Right?
I know,
Was
right?
your son eating
Yeah.
too? There you go.
Speaking of fast food meals,
Okay, yes.
so I did do a few.
Did you say fast food mills?
Mills. Is this like a
Mills?
story for you?
It sounded like fast food
M-E-A-L-S.
mills. Oh,
M-E-A-L-S.
meals. Okay, all right. I thought I heard mills.
Contrary to what you believe,
Yes.
actually, it really is what you believe. I did a few barrel picks last week,
What?
Oh,
For
okay.
Taco Bell?
and I was in
Barrel
Louisville.
pick man.
And on
Long
one of
John
those
Silver's.
days, we were at Old Louisville, went to Old Forester,
Old
went
Louisville.
to J
Did
Hob.
you see a mean?
Well, yes,
right.
I saw me back-to-back days.
That's great.
He's such a good dude.
Yep.
So we left J Hob,
Okay.
and what is right next door to J Hob is White Castle.
Okay.
So we grabbed White Castle.
Oh,
and
you
grabbed
did
on
it
the way
again.
home.
Chicken ring,
Chicken ring and sliders.
chicken ring, hot dog and bologna.
First time I've had it in probably 6 months, 8 months. Tasted so good initially. A few hours later, oh my gosh.
No,
So
it's not real meat.
that was rough.
Oh, no.
Sliding in, sliding
Oh
out.
Slider.
my gosh.
Slider. Get him a slider.
So, man, it was rough. So Jason Hill was with us.
Oh,
Did
hell.
he eat that White Castle?
Oh, yeah,
too?
he ate some White Castle. He was smart.
man.
He probably ate 4. I ate like 10.
Yeah.
So there were 6 burgers left here. I'm assuming they were his.
Okay.
Put them in the fridge, and how bad I felt the next day, I just threw them in the garbage.
That's a smart
dude,
idea.
Oh, it
yeah,
was so
you gotta
rough.
do that.
It was so rough.
I don't think any sandwich left over in the refrigerator is going to be good.
Taco Bell, man, it's got to be better than White Castle, like for you after the fact.
I don't know that one time though we
During
ate Taco
while
Bell.
I'm
You
eating
were
it, though,
not
dude, I
feeling good,
love
man.
some White Castle, bro.
Yeah.
While I'm eating it.
When we went to Nashville the one time, when I had the blessing and curse of staying in the same hotel room with you, which we're about to repeat that here soon.
You snore so loud, dude.
I do snore, but I'm working on it. Yes, I snore. But
What
That
are
was
you
a
doing?
joke. I
Exercises?
snore really loud.
but I do snore. But
I'm
you're
gonna
snoring.
probably sleep in Alvez's truck,
Your snoring woke me
Can
up.
you be in the opposite side of the house as me?
bro. I'm pretty loud.
There you go. Hey, it'll be fun though.
Yeah.
Chances are 100% chance of fun. But when we were, we went and got Taco Bell, and I loved it. I just downed that, went right to sleep. Kenny's like, next day he swore up and down that Taco Bell ruined him. But I don't know. When you have copious
know.
amounts of beverage, you don't know if it was a beverage or if it was a Taco Bell. So, but yes, we do act like children and get White Castle and Taco Bell sometimes after we,
Yes,
Yeah. So where are we at with this stuff?
I have not tasted it. Have y'all
I think we're
tasted
going for our first
Y'all
taste.
tasted?
Okay,
Yep,
there you
yep,
go.
let's
Yeah.
go.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I have
my
not.
God,
Yeah, here we
Juliet,
go.
no.
Here we go. Bombergers taste like. I got this one. It's gonna be right there. It tastes like somebody put flowers on the cherries, and
I was thinking Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. There it is. That's it. That's a peppery.
That's what I was thinking was Dr.
Bro,
Pepper.
I just said cherries and flowers, and Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper has like that whole Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper Bomberger.
It's a warm Dr. Pepper.
Warm Dr. Pepper.
Not cold.
Yeah. What are the flavors in Dr. Pepper? Can I look those up?
There's
Do we know
23 of
that?
them.
It's 23, I think. Yeah,
Oh my God.
It's
Here
like
we
the
go.
Colonel's recipe. It's a secret.
Here we go. Dr. Pepper.
I think it's like a DNA test. 23andMe. Right?
Do you guys realize I'm in Google, I'm typing in Dr. Pepper tasting notes just to see what comes up.
I hope there's 23 of them.
There gotta be 233 like Woodford.
Woodford. When you sip the famed soda, it's very sweet but also peppery. It has a hint of vanilla and a hint of citrus, but also slightly nutty flavor. I don't get the nutty flavor on here, do you?
I don't get nut.
No nutty. But yeah, how would you describe the taste of Dr. Pepper? Cherry cola, cinnamon,
Yep. Exactly. Creamy.
Others such as plum, tomato. There's all kinds of stuff. So what are 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper? Are you guys ready? Here we go.
Oh, please.
Here we go. 23 flavors. The flavors are cola, cherry, licorice, amaretto, almond, vanilla, blackberry, apricot, caramel, pepper, sarsaparilla, ginger, molasses, lemon, plum, orange, nutmeg. Okay, this is not helping. Yeah, it's a lot. But anyway,
It's a lot.
if we can say
But it tastes like Dr. Pepper.
that's Dr. Pepper. It tastes like
does.
Dr. Pepper, yeah. So there's a lot of flavors. There you go. Yeah.
It's a melting pot, if you
But
will.
a warm and flat Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
It's a melting pot, if you will. I love it. That was so great. He's got very good timing. All right.
That's funny you said that.
I knocked down my my Bombergers. So Bombergers is Dr. Pepper, and Shanks is.
I'm a huge fan of Dr. Pepper, by the way.
There you go. You are? Are you? Do you? And you get that right? Are you really a big fan of Dr. Pepper? Yeah. Okay, so you're a buy.
Wait, this is a lot more than Dr. Pepper.
That is.
I mean, it's getting close
We have
now
not talked about
nowadays.
the price.
Yeah. All right, moving on to
Shank.
Jailhouse Rock over here.
Shank in my sock.
All right. That sour's coming through, I think, on the tasting.
The sour.
Yeah. It's a sour match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I love all the front palate of the Shanks. It's like all like great and nice, and then it finishes in a weird, really, really weird way. The finish on the Shanks like is off-putting to me. Right now it is. I don't know if I have another sip if it will be. So we'll see. I don't know what it is. I'm going to pinpoint it here in a second.
I could get that sour mash in the
Right.
forward part,
Right.
and then it turns into like the underside, and
Okay.
it's kind of like follows through the rest of the taste.
And how would you describe that? Because to me, it's a little bit, it almost tastes like that air-dried cask or whatever they're toasting. I can almost taste it. It almost tastes like it's out in the elements, like it's piney. Not piney.
Piney, yes.
It's like foresty.
Yeah.
It's very much of the elements.
Which is not.
It's not bad.
Well, it's not like you usually don't want that pininess. 'Cause
Yeah.
For me, it brings back bad bottles
Right.
and just tasting notes that I
Right.
don't particularly like.
It's got like fall flavors, if that makes any sense. And I'm not sure if I really want the fall flavors right now, but I feel like this might turn as it opens up. It's crazy how full flavor it is for 91 proof. And so it's got a great mouthfeel, but it's got like the more, and they actually said this, they said herbaceous. It's herbaceous. It's like you're out in the woods with the sticks and the stones and all kinds of stuff.
And the broken bones.
And the broken bones, and amongst the elements of the Shank. It's just, it's very, it's got a lot of, like, honestly, I feel like I'm out in nature drinking the Shanks. That's how I feel. Bombergers feels much more like like you guys said, Dr. Pepper, which is crazy because it is kind of right there, Dr. Pepper. But Shanks has got like a lot of fall quality. Like,
That's a good call.
I can't wait till it's like 40 some degrees and you got to warm up by a fire, because I feel like this is going to be something I enjoy through the winter, but I don't know that I enjoy it other time past that. So it's interesting.
I'm surprised by the flavor of Shanks based
Okay.
on the proof.
Right.
It's actually a very flavorful for being lower proof.
Right. It's got a
So
lot of
I am
complexity.
surprised by that, to be honest with you.
Right.
Now, for the actual flavors notes that are presented, do you like the?
I need some more Shanks.
Shank up.
Yeah, I'll shank up.
Shank unit.
Shank you.
Shank you.
Shank it fast.
Shank yourself.
Shank it fast. Show me what you're shanking with.
Man, wow. You guys are crazy.
Bunch of shank ups.
Shank's got a lot of flavor for being a 91 proof whiskey. Whew. Nice. It is totally like I just dove in like a fall pile of leaves. The grass is a little bit wet. It's just it's funny. You guys will very rarely hear
Isn't
me.
it creamy and viscous though to be in the
It's so creamy. It's so creamy.
That's crazy.
For that, yeah.
For that lower proof.
It is like you guys will never hear me say this. I am very much not a person who likes what I would call element style whiskey, like where I taste grain and taste hay and taste stuff like that. This might be the first time where I taste a little bit of that stuff and I still actually like it.
So, Masters, would you pass, try, or buy on the Bombergers and the Shanks whiskey? I'll go first.
Yes, please.
Okay. For the Bombergers, it's 23andMe with Dr. Pepper. So I'm going to be a buy on it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
it's coming out.
It's kind of like this flat, warm Dr. Pepper note, which I really like.
Yep.
The cherry and all the other like flavors that go into it.
Yep.
So I kind of like that one.
Okay.
This is the interesting with the Shanks. It's like it's weird. Like I think the flavors that are presented, like some of the pine and stuff. I think it's well done. Mm-hmm. I don't know if a lot of them are like my favorite flavors.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird like they did a good job on it or it's not like my forte, so my try.
Right.
But I think I'll be a buy on it.
Okay. So you're buying on which one?
I think the Shank has a lot of depth to it.
So you're buying both?
I'll buy both.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Steven, this is a rare time. I would very rarely hear you buy both on an episode. So I am going to come out with a slightly different perspective.
Don't leave me hanging.
I'm not. No, not at all. These are both very surprising whiskeys, and I can't wait to hear what Kenny has to say because he's tried a lot of stuff, and I agree with him. Back in the 2019, 2020, I don't remember either of these. Like maybe the Bombergers being better than the Shanks because I tried both of them.
That is true. These are editions each year,
right?
Versions each year.
So for these ones, I am actually a very big fan of the complexity of both of them at the prices that they're at. So I see the appeal of why you said buy on both. I was going to be a try on both, but I'm actually going to be weirdly a buy on the Shanks and a try on the Bombergers. But it's kind of like, just a try, like a slightly elevated try on the Bombergers, like maybe a try plus. Mm-hmm. If you can get these, like, so the distillery was selling for $120, ABC store is selling $110. I can guarantee you that you're probably going to see these between $100 and $120. If you're looking for something that's interesting and unique, that is also limited and rare, I can
it's
understand.
Kind of hard to pass on something like that.
Right. I can understand the appeal, especially at the $100 price point. Like, let's just say there. And then the secondary is not much more. I don't think these carry a secondary. They're like $150, $160 maybe. Mm-hmm. But in most cases, you see people selling for $130, which is right near retail. So I'm intrigued by both of them. And the Shanks is growing on me. I'm telling you right now.
I think it's growing on me too.
I can't wait until it's like cold for like 3 weeks. I am totally going to be sitting out back having a pour of this and probably enjoying it even more than I'm enjoying it right now. So that's where I'm at. So I'm going to buy on the Shanks and a try plus on the Bombergers. And Kenny's going to come in to ruin all of it right now. Here we go.
I already know what the blind's going to be.
Oh, is there a blind?
Yeah, he's going to just crack open a can of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, there you go.
I did pour myself a pour. I did not blind you all tonight. I know the listeners do. They do message in. They do appreciate the blinds.
They do. They love it.
But so they know I am pouring tonight, but I've been pouring for myself, not blinds for you all. So upon initial tasting of the Bombergers, let's go Bombergers first.
Yep.
I was going to be a pass.
Okay.
Because I was sitting there thinking, okay, $120, Bombergers, 108 proof,
108, yeah.
So I initially was a pass based on just memory.
Okay.
And I went and poured what I was thinking about it against, which is Old Forester 1920.
Okay.
Which is 115 proof.
Correct.
Once I poured 1920, I moved from Bombergers being a pass to a try.
Okay.
I drank a few more sips, and I'm borderline a buy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go try plus on Bombergers.
Okay.
Because after, like I said, based on memory, I didn't think it would be. I was going to pass, but no. Once I tried 1920 next to it, which is a $55, $60 bottle.
Right.
Nah, it's actually a lot better. So I'm gonna be a try plus. Shanks, before any kind of blinds, I was like very rich, very flavorful for 91 proof. Shanks, though, is still, it's 91 proof.
Right.
Not a lot going on. So for $120, $110, I think you can potentially find some. It's the thing. All right. So, like, what are you going for?
Right.
We have some listeners and some people in general, they just want smooth and vanilla. I mean, that's literally I mean, smooth. So if you look at
Smooth and vanilla.
dude,
Smooth
if you
Elmer.
look at the
There you
big,
go.
yeah, it is, man. If you look at a lot of the big bourbon groups, or you look at people that are not bourbon nerds, it's like one of their first descriptions is, "Oh, it's so smooth. It's so good. It's so smooth."
Right.
You know, smooth is one of those things. But when I'm sitting there thinking like that's $110 or $120,
Right.
Raconteur Rye is $130.
That's true.
Kills that.
That's true.
Kills it.
That's true.
And that's why I can't be a buy on Bombergers. I'm still going to be a try.
Okay.
But on Shanks, I was going to be a buy initially, but after really thoroughly thinking about it, I mean, I'll be a try minus on that one.
Okay. Okay.
Because
That's fair.
it is very flavorful for 91 proof.
Right.
But at the same point, the flavor is like basic and plain.
Gotcha.
So if you're the kind of person that, so say for example, and this is why I moved from a buy down to a try. If you want like plain, easy drinking, smooth vanilla, so let's say you have a Blanton's, it's $65, $90 secondary.
Right.
That's still more expensive. But then again, based on
I
our
don't know,
recent
Blanton's has
episode,
that bite.
well, that's the truth though. Based on our recent episode with a 2024 Blanton's, this like crushes that. So that's true.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, I'm gonna go try plus Bomberger, try minus Shanks.
Okay. That's good.
But I will say these are honestly, I have to go revisit my 2020s. Both of these, I believe, are way better than my 2020s.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually, that's kind of like, I feel like where we ended up is kind of how most people feel about these whiskeys. That's why the retail price and the secondary price are very similar, because they're going to hit people different ways.
Yeah.
Like Kenny, as soon as it gets cold for like 3-4 weeks here and we're totally in a cold pattern, there's going to be a day where I'm going to surprise you with the Shanks. I know Steven's already there. Like, I get where he's at. He's campfire guy. Like, he likes that stuff. I feel like you're going to appreciate that more when the weather completely changes. That's what I feel.
Hey, that's cool. Blind me. Just don't stab me in my ribs, dog, with that shank, with that other shank.
The 2 for night.
Twofer. So that was a mixed bag, but overall pretty good for both of them. I mean, you know, considering what people say about them, like, you know, they're pretty good. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason why if you have the opportunity to buy allocated bottles, you should always, you know, really consider that opportunity, because I felt the same way and I'd passed on Shanks and Bombergers in years previous to this, but I'm glad I bought them this year.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code THEMASHUP for a special discount.
Also,
Head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.